Thank you for coming today to join us so that we can build awareness about rat lungworm disease. Recently, angiostrongylosis, or rat lungworm, has been a high-profile issue in the news, and we were very saddened to learn about the couple on the mainland who became infected here. We're very sorry about their experience and their continued suffering. This past weekend, our department received 6 reports of suspected cases of rat lungworm on Hawaii Island. All 6 cases were hospitalized and reported by a physician. Today, state lab results have confirmed that 2 of the Hawaii Island resident cases, and we also have 4 probable cases, all with a common exposure, with symptoms consistent with the illness and consistent clinical indications. The department conducted an investigation and determined there was a common exposure for all 6 of these recent cases who became ill after consuming homemade kava tainted by garden slugs. From the investigation, it was determined that the homemade kava was prepared and left out in uncovered buckets after it was prepared. The kava was poured into a large bowl, and after it was consumed, a slug was found at the bottom of the bowl. The department is continuing to monitor and investigate reported cases of this serious illness spread to individuals by infected slugs and snails. Cases like this recent cluster are especially concerning because they can be prevented with basic precautions, such as storing food in covered containers and properly inspecting and washing food before eating. These healthy habits can protect against food contamination and prevent serious illness. We also want to remind people to supervise young children playing outdoors to prevent them from putting snails or slugs in their mouths. Controlling snail, slug, and rat populations, which is the primary host for this parasite, is also one of the most important steps in fighting the spread of rat lungworm disease. We want to emphasize that Hawaii is a safe destination, and the subsequent speakers are going to be talking to you a bit about how we assure the safety and public health for both our visitors and our residents. So we work very closely with the Hawaii Tourism Authority. George Zaghetti on my left, who will be talking next. We work together with them and with the Department of Transportation on messaging to visitors for other risks also, such as mosquito-borne diseases and drownings at our airports and ports. So we are very concerned about the health and safety of both the residents and our tourists, and we want to make sure that they realize it is a safe place to come. So, George?
Thank you, Dr. Pressler, and I want to thank you and your staff at the Department of Health for addressing the situation and informing the public about the nature of this rare infection and how it can be prevented. In my opinion, the Department of Health does a stellar job in looking out for the health interests of Hawaii's residents and our visitors alike. They are responsible, informative, and always responsive whenever we at HTA have any questions about the health issues that could impact the lives of Hawaii's tourism industry, workers, and visitors. In case of the rat lungworm disease, DOH is a trusted resource for information on how this disease can be easily prevented. I encourage everyone to go to the DOH website, learn more as to how this disease can be prevented, and share that information with colleagues, friends, and family members. From the standpoint of Hawaii's tourism industry, it's important that people do not overreact or assume that the situation is worse than it is. The fact for Hawaii's tourism industry to remember are these. Rat lungworm disease are very rare. It's hard to get infected considering how it's passed to people. It is easily preventable by being smart and using common sense when it comes to cleaning and eating produce. Follow the advice of the Department of Health on washing and storing our food appropriately, especially produce. To our tourism industry employees, please be ambassadors in sharing the Department of Health's advice and recommendations with your colleagues and fellow workers, family members and friends. Visitors to Hawaii, you are the first trusted source of information for visitors. Please reassure them about Hawaii. To the visitors already here or planning a trip to Hawaii, there is no need to change your plans or be overly concerned. Patronize our restaurants and enjoy the delicious cuisine. Enjoy the island's foods and fresh produce. It's part of the experience that makes Hawaii such a beloved place. To our visitors and anyone thinking of booking a trip to Hawaii, the bottom line is this. There is no reason to feel differently about Hawaii or to fear getting the disease as long as you follow the advice of the Department of Health and use good common sense when eating and storing food in the Hawaiian Islands. I would tell you this, that we are meeting with our various stakeholders. We are sharing the information, educating, and working together in making sure that we are doing the right things to prevent this disease. I would tell you also that Hawaii continues to be a safe, clean, healthy, and welcoming destination. Sharing this information from today's press conference is the key, and I personally will be meeting with a lot of the stakeholders, our global contractors, as well as our local stakeholders, and sharing this information. And in closing, I'd like to say we appreciate the Department of Health for bringing us together today to convey this information to the public. So mahalo and aloha.
And now Peter Rochero, who's in charge of our sanitation branch, will share with you the things that we're doing to protect our food.
Okay, a lot of the numerous things that we've done and what we've been doing for the last couple years is educating the food service industry. So basically since 2014, since we've changed our food regulations and instructions in the way we regulate them, our focus has been to educate the food industry. So that is what's been occurring for the last couple years, and it's actually been concentrated on the neighbor islands where our sanitarians, our field staff will go out and make sure to remind all the food establishments, restaurants, markets about the importance of thoroughly washing all their fruits and vegetables prior to putting in use. And that's basically the same message. At this point in time, we don't see any need to change or enhance our rules and regulations. All our rules that we have in place now, if followed, are more than adequate, and we're very confident that it can prevent the occurrence of any more rat lungworm diseases from any of our regulated establishments. So that's about all I have to say right now.
Okay. And Brian, you want to pass that down to Brian? I can't quite reach over there, so you can introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Brian Miyamoto, Executive Director of the Hawaii Farm Bureau. So the Farm Bureau has been working with Department of Health, Department of Agriculture, University of Hawaii College of Tropical Agriculture. Again, and we're encouraging our farmers and working on some information for our farmers, but we encourage farmers and home gardeners to practice good management practices so that we can control these pests, these hosts of rat lungworm. It demonstrates the need to address invasive species and the need to allow our farmers the tools, because you know, we got to control the host, or this may not go away. We also are encouraging the public, again, you heard Department of Health, to thoroughly wash their produce. You know, it's not just produce. You heard that the last cases were from kava. So again, we're working with all our partners to address this public and this health issue, and we want to make sure that, and we want to ensure our customers, that our farmers are producing safe food. So we are working with different stakeholders, different partners to get the information out, and again, you know, we're working with everyone that we can think of in order to assure the customers and consumers that it is safe to continue to buy local. We encourage our residents and our visitors to continue to buy local because our farmers are producing safe food, and we're working with everyone to make sure that we can give the confidence to the consumers and hopefully control this rat lungworm disease.